Like, you keep failing. You just don't last. Even when you do get the results, you find that you are only able to sustain those results for like a month, and then you start going back to like your initial weight, because it's all in the mind at the end of the day. Here's why you keep failing at your fitness/fat loss journey. You start because you hate yourself. Like, if you are going to go into a fitness/fat loss journey because you cannot stand your stomach, you cannot stand your double chin, and you're just overwhelmed with self-loathing, that is not enough to sustain you or push you through those like really difficult days. And sure, I will not act like all self-righteous and be like, no, I started this fitness thing because I wanted to feel great or whatever. I really started because I couldn't stand how I looked. I felt like who I was internally was not reflected in the external. I felt internally that I was like this confident and disciplined woman, and yet you could tell that I did not have habits that affirmed that. I looked like I skipped the gym a lot of the times. I cannot say no to an extra cookie. And so when I started out with fitness, I was like, I am done with this. I hate how I look. Show me the quickest way to lose 10 kilograms. But I found that, even that self-loathing is not enough to sustain just how long, like the lengthiness of a fitness journey. Your dream body is only 2 years away. That is a really long time. And if you think self-loathing and self-hate is going to be enough to fuel your consistency through those winters, those cold nights, those days where you don't feel like it, your period. If you think the self-loathing is going to sustain you through that, I know something you don't. It's not every day that I hate my stomach. Even on the days where I found that I hated my stomach, I would run back to food. I would run back to my old habits out of disgust, out of self-loathing, and be like, you know what? I already have this big stomach, so I may as well just continue eating. And so it wasn't enough for me to hate myself into consistency. But I found that when I shifted my mindset to I am working out because I am excited to get rid of the stomach and I hate it, to I actually enjoy how I feel after. I enjoy that feeling or that sense of accomplishment I feel when I get through a difficult workout. And so if you are going to start out hating yourself, that is a good way to start. We all started there really, but it will not sustain you, and you will find that you quit before you can actually get the results that you want. Stop quitting. You will not get the results that you want in 3 weeks, 21 days. But 21 days is still of significance when it comes to fitness and fat loss, because it takes 21 days for a habit to settle and become like a part of your daily routine. And so that 3 weeks is significant, but it is not enough for you to go from 90 kilograms to 80 kilograms. You have to keep in mind that you did not just become 100 kilograms over 3 months. It must have taken years and years of like unhealthy eating habits, that lack of knowledge and understanding on what an active and healthy lifestyle actually looks like. And so you have to give yourself that grace. You have to be willing to give yourself just the same amount of time to get to the body or the results that you want. Be patient. You quit too early. Even when you get the results that you want, you just relax. Like, you'll be like, oh wow, I am now 60 kilograms. Great. And so you stop everything. And then you're shocked at the fact that you have put on an extra 10 kilograms about 2 months after your fat loss journey. So yeah, have patience. Do not quit. Keep going. A brick a day laid is a wall, but in the future. You know what I mean? When I am desperate to get something, I always try to find like the quickest solution to getting that thing. But at the same time, it is important to note that the quickest solution is not always the best. It is not always the right solution. An example, a fad diet. If you think that you are going to juice cleanse your way to minus 10 kilograms, that is possible. You can lose 10 kilograms in 2 months or 3 months by simply going on a juice fast, but that is not sustainable. You will feel terrible as you do that because you are under eating, number one, and number two, you will find that once you get the results that you want and now you want to eat normal food, you just go heavy because you haven't unlearned the habits. I feel like to really succeed in a fitness/fat loss journey, you have to maintain the conditions. If you can keep the conditions the same as much as you can, but tweak a few things, like say your diet. If you're someone that really enjoys sweet things, you can still have sweet things in your journey, but have healthier alternatives of of those things. Learn how to not always indulge on a piece of chocolate because you're stressed. Find ways to deal with your stress better. I don't know if that makes sense. I say this to say that in life, you will always find yourself in stressful situations. There's always going to be something that makes it difficult for you to be consistent. So you can't just get away. You can't just run away from your life and try figure out this weight loss thing, i.e. fad diet. I am going to go on a juice cleanse. You have to incorporate fitness and health into your normal lifestyle. Rewrite the story of what health and wellness looks like in your current life. That way it becomes more sustainable. That way you can be consistent with it because your life hasn't changed. So if you're someone that enjoys eating 3 times a day, you can continue eating 3 times a day. Maybe instead of having a carb source with every meal, knowing very well that you're not as active as you could be, you could have a salad as a substitute for one of those meals. So instead of having 3 heavy meals in a day, you can have 1 heavy meal a day and 2 light meals a day. And you will find that as you do it over a period of time, you start to have a body that reflects these new habits, and your ease into a fat loss journey is easier. You don't want to be miserable doing this because you are more likely to then fall back to your old ways. You are more likely to romanticize that comfortability, those bad habits, because those are easier. So don't make it a dreadful experience for yourself by doing these quick fixes, these diets that are so unhealthy. And then the 4th point is you're attached to your old ways. You know that diet is a huge part of weight loss and fat loss. What you eat is super important. And so if you find a meal plan for yourself, so you go from eating a lot of ultra processed foods to whole food, and you're already asking about cheat days 4 days into that diet, that shows that mentally you're not ready for what a fat loss and fitness journey entails. Structure becomes super important when it comes to succeeding with your fat loss journey. So find yourself a personal coach if you're someone that does not know how to navigate those fitness, that fitness world. You know that you want to lose weight, but you don't know how. Get yourself a personal coach, because it alleviates a lot of that uncertainty that can overwhelm you, that can discourage you, because they know what needs to be done for you to get the results that you want. And so they can guide you through that process. Join a community. Find other people that are on this journey with you. That way, when someone shares a point of concern, you can learn from their experience instead of having to go through that and delaying your entire process. So create as much structure as you can that sets you up for success. There's a book, Atomic Habits. James Clear, I think, says something along the lines of your success is a result of the structures you have built for yourself and not really your something ... I am paraphrasing right now. So structure becomes super important. That way you don't make room for yourself to fall. If you know that I have meal prepped all my meals for the week, when that noise starts buzzing in your ear where you're just okay, I'm craving a burger and fries today, you can just go to your fridge and get your meal prep and be full so that you can think clearly. You don't want to be hungry with no healthy meal prepped and a bank card and your Uber Eats app on standby. That is a recipe for disaster. So if you can just set yourself up for success by having your meals prepped, having that accountability partner or community on standby, deleting that Uber Eats app, you almost make it impossible for yourself to fall into the trap of your old ways. That way you can actually be consistent with your fitness/fat loss journey. It is so easy to be irrational when you want that instant gratification, when all the things that have resulted in you being how you are today, in that moment, it's so easy to be illogical and be you know what, I am hungry, I need food, this is easy, this is quick. You get that McDonald's, and then only after, when you're now rational and you're in the right state of mind, you're just oh no, I did the wrong thing. And so it becomes super important to build a structure that is going to set you up for success. And the last one is you have to show a bit of compassion to yourself when it comes to a fitness journey. And you will know that you lack compassion because of how you speak to yourself when you mess up, when you fail, when you find yourself having that extra cookie on your journey because you wanted it so bad. There's going to be a day in your fitness journey where you just fall back into your old ways. Maybe you had a bad day and it was just all too much to handle. If you don't have compassion for yourself, then you will hate yourself. You will say all of these negative things that aren't helping anyone. If anything, they are going to make you feel so discouraged. So like you will run away from the journey entirely, which is why you fail. No one decides to just become overweight. That is never anyone's goal. But so much happens in life. There's people with depression. There's people who don't have the knowledge on how to deal with stress. Like, I did not have knowledge on how to deal with stress. When I had access to as much food as I want, I relaxed. Like, I enjoyed that because I did not always have access to eating whatever I wanted. I did not really understand for the longest time that yes, these things are good, but you have to have them in moderation. Otherwise, you will gain that unnecessary fat that you don't want, that will make me feel unhappy. You have to show compassion for yourself, understanding that you did the best that you knew how to get yourself to the point that you're at today. But now those habits are not working for you. You're not a bad person because you're overweight. It is just the evidence of how you were able to cope with life, essentially. So if you can show a bit of compassion for yourself, you are then more likely to stay consistent, because you can encourage yourself. You can show grace. You can have that drive, that push to try again. And you have to keep trying again until you get it right. And sometimes that is going to take longer than just 21 days. It's going to take longer than 6 months. But you know what? Time will pass anyways, so you better lock in. But have adopt that longevity mindset, the idea that I am doing this for the rest of my life, so I can show grace for myself. I can see how there will be days where I just want that chocolate cake so bad, and I will have it. What is the point of hating myself for having a chocolate cake when chocolate cake is something that I enjoy? But if you go into it with the mindset of, even when I have that chocolate cake, it does not disregard all the work I've put in the past, and the fact that I can still continue with my journey, you are more likely to last, because the fat loss journey is no longer this dreadful journey of restriction and not going after the things you want, but really this journey of getting to know yourself, unlearning and relearning new habits, healthy habits that will sustain the you that you want to become. And is that not a beautiful way to look at it? And so, yeah, have patience, show grace, love yourself through the seasons, love yourself through those workouts that you don't feel like doing, or those moments where you binge and overeat. It's pointless to hate yourself, but instead be interested. Why am I doing this? Why is this my way of coping? And take that to God. There's this audio that trended for a while where the lady was praying, and she was like, God, I pray that you heal, you change my relationship with food, that I get this body. So it is something like that where you can invite the presence of God. God, heal my eating habits, heal this lack of consistency, the fact that I always quit before I actually get to the thing. I pray for consistency. I pray for self-compassion. I pray for discipline. You can invite the Lord. And when I tell you, He will strengthen you, He will give you that strength to go the extra mile, to try for one more day, to keep going, And at the end of the day, you got this. It's not that deep. You are that girl, and so you have to do what that girl does. I hope this helps. And if you are ready to start your fitness/fat loss journey, but you're still yeah, man, I need that help. I've tried to do this by myself. I have tried running to ChatGPT and I found a program, yes, but I feel the consistency aspect, that accountability component is where I fail, is where I fall. Let me know in the comments, or you can just click the link in my bio where we can train together, or you can get access to my community where it won't just be you alone, but it's going to be you and other women that have the same concerns, that share the same struggles as you, that want to embark on a fitness journey but lack that accountability aspect. And you can be with them, with myself, and we keep this intimate space where we just, we talk it out. We hold each other accountable. We commit to weekly challenges that will set us up for that success by building healthy habits that will set us up for a successful fat loss/fitness journey. Or you can sign up for my one-on-one coaching. I am a qualified personal trainer right now, and I am also that sister who understands Like, I know just how difficult a fat loss slash fitness journey can be. And you do need someone to talk you through it on those days, man. Because those days are really hard. And those days are actually some of the days I feel like have defined my character to this day. Like, they have built and shaped the woman that I am today. Anyways, know that you are loved, even if and even when you don't love yourself. I say this because God is real and God loves you. You got this. You got this. Anyways, bye.